This is Solo P1. The sound was a bit weird then. But anyway, F1 is back. F1 is back. But the only problem is we haven't done the Japanese Grand Prix review, which is 4 weeks ago. So we're going to do it now. We're going to talk about what's going on in Formula 1 as well. We've also got a Formula 1 video on Friday. That would be the Flaming Tarmac. We do that every single time there's a Grand Prix on. We always do the Flaming Tarmac. And we talk about the up-and-coming weekend. But this is the F1 Debrief, episode 73. And Kimi Antonelli makes history at the Japanese Grand Prix. So, we're back with F1. A lot of people were saying when you bring in F1 back, I'm bringing the F1 back when it comes back. And F1 is coming back this weekend. This weekend, Miami. Not my favorite track, but it's very interesting. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that on Friday. What we're going to talk about now is Japan. And we're going to talk about who made history at Japan. And that was Kimi Antonelli. So I'm going to bring in my co-Q's, my partner in crime. He's Mr. Toto Abba. Big up Toto, the perfect camera. Look how perfect I've got it now. Good at it. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, how you doing, bro? Remember, guys, like the video, like, subscribe. You know how it is. Everything's there. It's all good. So listen, bro. F1, we're not going to talk about the F1 this weekend. We'll do that on Friday. Now we're just going to talk about what happened in Japan. But before we do that, how are you, bro? How are you doing? How's your streams going? How's life going? You don't have to tell us your personal business, obviously, but, you know, we're going to introduce you. How are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well. You know, nothing really much going on. But yeah, nothing much really. Just
That's it, isn't it? There you
go. As always.
So, guys, this is streaming on the YouTuber and on the Keep It Sports channel, and it's also streaming on Toto's racing channel as well. So it's streaming on both channels. So the link is in the bio. If you want to go over to just type in Toto Hammer. So you got to do type it. There it is. There it's on top. It's right alongside Toto Hammer right there. Type that in. Not news, just Toto Hammer, and then you'll see his channel as well. So the road to 1,000 subscribers. But this is our channel. This is the Keep It Sports channel. But he's got his little side channel as well. I might get my little hustle as well. I might get a little side hustle. This is the main channel, but I might get my little side hustle as well. So big up to the chat room. Yeah, hi to you. On TikTok, big up as well. So, Toto, let's start with Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli? What are you saying, bro? I'm backing him. What are you saying? Like Kimi Antonelli.
I thought Antonelli had he had a great race. Bearing the awful start that he had, he dropped to 5th on the start. Antonelli did, but then he made his way back up and he went on to win it, didn't he? But good for him, Antonelli. You know, he's getting the pressure from the people on social media, the pundits saying he could be in fight for a championship and he could win the championship. But again, I think that's too early to say. But at the end of the day, he's going to be in this situation one day. You can't hide it away from him. And I think he's having a brilliant season so far. The Mercedes car is good. It's very, very dominant coming to these circuits. Antonelli, he's been doing very well with the car. He did make history in China as well, being the youngest ever race winner. Again, he's making history at a very, very young age, and he hasn't even been in Formula 1 that long. And to already be in a championship fight this early on in the season, I think that's great. Great for Antonelli.
Yeah, the Japanese Grand Prix, man, he won. He come first. Oscar was second, and Charles Leclerc was third. Russell was fourth, and Lando Norris was fifth, and sixth was Lewis Hamilton. So, like I said, look, McLaren has started to come back into it as well, slowly, but we'll see what happens. I heard that the Ferrari car, which I'm not really going to talk about, I'll talk about that more on Friday, that the Ferrari car, he's got a lot coming to it. a lot of upgrades and see what happens there. But we'll talk about that on Friday when it's more in depth. But yeah, overall, I thought for me, I think Kimi Antonelli. I think Russell should have won it. I think during the race, I think it's been 4 weeks now, my memory's not as good as it used to be. If you look at, I think Russell should have won it. He made a few mistakes in the race. I think pitted him late, maybe. I think it was that he pitted him late, and I think Russell should have done better. Overall, in my opinion, what were your thoughts on it? Just gonna get all these results on here.
Yeah, about the Japanese Grand Prix, there was an absolute horrific crash, weren't they? The Japanese Grand Prix, Ollie Behrman, that high speed crash.
I know.
You know, he was literally limping out the car. He had to go to the medical stuff, and it was a high G-force track. I think it was something to do with the car and again the new regulations. I think that's what it is. That's what people were complaining about, the new regulations and the new cars, on how that all of a sudden like slow down and stuff like that. Sometimes it has them on it. Sometimes it just slows down all suddenly. But it's very, very bad for Ollie Behrman. You know, it was absolutely horrific crash.
It happened with Luke, didn't it? Remember when it's in Australia?
Yeah, you know, it's awful. It's awful, man. And apparently, it's due to these regs. I can get info on it about, you know, his crash. But it was very, very bad, man. It was very, very bad. And I'm glad it was okay after. But, you know, it was literally limping out the car and a high G-force, you know.
Yeah, well, look, we don't like
that. It seems very irregular. Like, it just seems very weird how it happened.
Look, nobody wants to see even some of the drivers that we don't really follow. I don't say dislike, like you hate, whatever, yeah. There's no hate, but, you know, the drivers that we don't really follow, even for them drivers, someone like Max Verstappen, I'm not the biggest fan of Max Verstappen, but if he crashes, I want him to be all right. I don't wish hurt on no one. It's just a sport, innit? It's a competitive sport. The gladiators, that's what they are. The gladiators.
About the crash you were talking about. There was all of a sudden a difference in the speed.
Yeah.
Because of these regulations, there was a malfunction in the car, and there was a difference in speed. And then after that, FIA announced after the race they would hold meetings to discuss maybe changes to new regulations. Because I said this before. I said this before that I don't like him. It's good to watch, but again, for the drivers, it's not good. And I think as a fan, you look at the sport and you're like,
I like the new regulations.
It's more entertaining and stuff like that. But there is some faults in it. I think need fixing. Of course, you know, cars all of a sudden are slowing down, changing the speeds. You know, fast spins are now into energy saving corners. Energy saving, straight line is now there for energy saving. It should be the other way around. It should be corners for energy saving.
Yes.
And the more straighter corners.
Yeah.
That should be more you know, your energy deployment.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're on the corners, that's when you should be you're preserving your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So basically, let's go through the race a little bit and we can go into more detail in a minute. This is the reports what came out. We watched it, but it's been 4 weeks ago, so obviously we have to look at old notes, innit? It's not like, oh, I remember, but we still gonna look at old notes. As the lights went out, Suzuki Piastri was one to watch, in my opinion. And the McLaren man struggled forwards to take a lead into turn one. Leclerc also enjoyed a good launch to move up into second place, but Mercedes pair dropped backwards, leaving Russell in fourth and Antonelli down to sixth. So basically, by the first couple of laps, Antonelli was sixth and Russell was fourth. Norris had to climb up to the third with a move around the outside Russell, while Hamilton was running fifth. Though that did not last long, Antonelli overtaking for P5 for the next lap. We all know, look, that's been the scenario in this season, okay? The beginning, Ferrari usually gets a decent start, but now obviously McLaren are in the mix. But overall, Mercedes tend to come back in it. They come back into the race. I think the race pace you've got to give it to Mercedes. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Mercedes is much dominant race pace.
Yeah.
That we're seeing these in the last races, especially the Chinese Grand Prix where Antonelli, I think he started about 8th or 7th, around about that.
Yeah.
Within like 10, 15 laps, he's up there in the top 2. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to say easy because it's not easy to drive a Formula One car. But Mercedes, for an example, they make it look easy the way they built the car and how good they adapt to the regulations.
Yeah.
You can't just come out and say, "Oh, it's easy." No, because they're professional drivers at the end of the day, and the mechanics is who set up the car,
Yeah.
and they set it up very, very well. And look how good that car is. You know, they adapted very well to these regulations, and we had big hopes for Mercedes, and they've lived up to the big hopes of this season. You know, credit to them. There's nothing you can do. Just give credit, and their race pace has been, you know, it's been amazing. Their race pace, always dominating races, always doing consistent times, always getting the strategy nailed done as well. But again, if you got a car that quick, you don't really need to think much about strategy, do you?
No.
You know, of course you still want a decent strategy, but again, you don't think much of it. Because you know how good your car is, but you never know. They could think much about strategy as well, because a strategy is what can turn over a race. You know, so you got to think about the strategy as well. You got to think about both sides. But that car's really, really fast. It's really, really fast in the race, and also the qualifying as well. You know, it's dominating both sessions.
Very.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Ferraris are getting closer, and McLarens are getting closer.
They will. They will close down.
Because it weren't big of a gap like it was at the beginning of the calendar. It's now 5 or 4 seconds, but again, 4 seconds is still a lot in Formula One. That's still
I don't. I'm not sure, but it's 4 seconds between them. I don't think there's nothing really between them. Every lap I say there's half a second. I think maybe Mercedes is half a second faster a lap. So obviously over a race it mounts up in it, but half a second is that's a lot in. Half a second is a lot in Formula One, because if you're doing 40 laps of a track and you're half a second faster, what's going to happen at the end of the race? Isn't it? You're going to get demolished. So I still think like when we look at previous seasons in Formula One, let's go back to like 2014, 2015, the beginning of the hybrid era, when it was all about Mercedes. The first 2 years of the hybrid era, it was all Mercedes. It was all Nico Rosberg and Hamilton. It was only really 2016, a few years into the regulations, where Ferrari was starting to close them down. You get me? Now, I'm watching these regulations now, and I think that Ferrari, if the upgrades are coming soon, I think Ferrari will be able to catch Mercedes, and I think that McLaren eventually will catch them as well. So I think it's going to be, the way I'm looking at it now, the way I'm looking at the table now, I think it's going to be a 3-horse race for the title. Because, see, in previous regulations, there'd only be one team and it'd just go. Remember, look at Max Verstappen in 2022. Nobody could catch him. He was winning races by 40 seconds. We couldn't have that again. And you know when Max Verstappen was winning by 40 seconds, did you hear any Max Verstappen fans complain?
No.
Nobody complained. The only one that was complaining, I was complaining, because I was thinking it's boring to watch. And McLaren fans, everybody but Red Bull fans were complaining. But now we've at least got 3 teams in the mix. And I just don't understand why people are saying the regulations are crap. I don't think it is. I think it's really exciting. I think this season, so far, has been exciting. It's my opinion. I'll go back to the race. I'm talking to Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen made a move on his teammate Hajar to claim P9, leaving the Frenchman under pressure from Ocon behind. By lap 3, Russell had picked up Norris, basically overtook Norris for the first place, as the Mercedes recovery continued, with Antonelli hot on the tail of the world champion. Meanwhile, Russell gained another position one tier later by overtaking Leclerc, meaning that the leader Piastri was next in his sights. So you could see when it got to even lap 3, you could see that the Mercedes were making gains fast. You know, they may not have the best start, but overall race pace is there. You know what I mean? So let's move on. Got anything to say on that, Toto? No?
About the regulations, I think it's good.
Oh,
It's good to watch,
yeah.
but I think some of it's a bit dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think some of it needs fixing as well. That's just me.
What you said before about when it gets into the corners, how the engine just suddenly
Yeah,
just
because
boom. Yeah.
there's a lot of people saying, that analysts saying like it's very, very dangerous. Some of it is. It's good to watch, but some of it can be dangerous as well.
Yeah. I agree. So by lap 3, Russell had picked up. We've done that. So Verstappen snatched 8th place from Lindblad before the Racing Bulls rookie lost another place to Ocon. Across the pack, an Audi pair had lost out, slipping back several positions from the starting positions of P9 and P13, while Bottas was running at the very back, the sole driver of the hard tyres. So Bottas ain't letting it go with them hard tyres. Weren't pitting it. I think he was the last one to pit. Sorry about that. The phone's going off. He was the last one to pit. So Verstappen snatched 8th place for Lindblad. You wouldn't have said that a few years ago, would you? You know, Max Verstappen snatching 8th place. You know what I mean? Max Verstappen. I thought this is what we used to say before. Everybody said it don't matter what car he was in, he would still get first place. He's now in a Red Bull, and he's not getting first place. So there you go. So with 8 laps down, Russell was putting Piastri under increased pressure after having closed to just few tenths back from the McLaren. The British driver initially took the lead into the final corner before Piastri retook the position into turn 1. So, like I said, Russell and Piastri doing their thing. Behind them, Norris was still keeping up with... this is where it gets interesting. Behind them, Norris was still keeping up with Antonelli by whilst also trying to find a way past Leclerc. The 3 locked in a thrilling battle as lap 10 ticked down. The rest of the top 10 consistent of Hamilton in the 6th place, Gasly, Verstappen, Ocon and Lindblad. Lindblad's all right, you know, though the Hadjar was less than half a second behind 11th. So Hadjar has been excellent the past couple of races. In this race, his just car wasn't really working as good as he thought it was. So basically, Norris is still keeping up with Antonelli by 11th lap. So, like I said, even at the beginning of the season, McLaren will come good. It's just they've got a Mercedes engine. There's no way they're going to drop back. All it takes if the engineers can get that car up and running. But it's got a Mercedes engine. And at the moment, the Mercedes has probably got the best engine. At the moment, we don't know what's going to happen in Miami yet. But what's your thoughts on what's his name? I forgot his name. Brain fart. What's his name? The world champion, I was to say. The world champion hanging with the Mercedes still by lap 11. They couldn't have said that the first 2 races of the year. You said they've caught up.
Teams are going to get upgrades. You know, that's why. I get me wrong. I was hooked onto it. I thought Mercedes are going to have this. You know, I still think they might have this domination, but
I know you. I know you deep down. You still love the Mercedes. We get it. Back in the day. I know.
Teams eventually will get upgrades, and that's just the way it is. That's why the season ain't decided in the first 4 or 5 races. It's just not, you know. When it comes to about the 10th or 11th race, then you see people, then you see like the ground and the packing order then. Because the packing order's not set yet. We've got a rough idea what it's going to be, but it's not set. Because McLaren might be the fastest in maybe the next couple of races, or Ferrari might be up there again. Maybe it could be a 3-horse battle.
I just got a request. Sorry, I just got a request on Zach saying Little G wants a call hole so that.
No. That I think that's probably one of your followers going live. They always do that to me as well.
Okay then. He wanted to join, but you don't know. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say.
He was talking about the that Mercedes. The McLaren, and there's still enough time to catch up on that.
Yeah, there is enough time. The race ain't decided this early in the season. It's still early rounds in the season. I think, including me, got getting too over themselves. Can't think of like, it's going to be a Mercedes dominant. You know, it's going to be Mercedes, and Mercedes. But when teams put them upgrades on, and we'll see by 8th or 9th race where teams roughly around are, then we can make our judgments and who's going to be the challengers. For me, I still think it's going to be a 3-horse race.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to be.
I think it's going to be.
Of course, Mercedes, which really gives them advantage, that Lewis Hamilton exposed them to. They have a lot of mode on the car, especially when it comes to qualifying. I think it's a party mode or whatever, and it makes them go so much quicker.
Yeah. Is that coming up in Miami?
No. This is what Mercedes have generally got.
Oh, okay.
Which makes them fast. Lewis Hamilton said it in, I think, a couple of press conferences ago, last press conference.
Yeah.
There was questions being raised about the FIA and should the FIA look into it and try to regulate it, try to take it off.
If Red Bull start complaining, they will.
Yeah.
But as Red Bull got the pull like they used to, because Horner's not there anymore. But we could talk about that on Friday. Anyway, after playing the waiting game, Antonelli finally made a move at Norris during the lap 11 in an overtake that looked very similar to Russell's early attempt on Piastri. Leclerc was the next target, and the Italian tried to find a way pass through the laps. Only Mosquera to rebuff the effort. So, just as Piastri discussed the possibility of pitting early with the race engineer, the McLaren pit crew emerged on lap 17, but the stop was from Norris and returned to track in P9 and the hard tyres. So everyone was going for so when people was pitting, they were all going for the hard tyres. You get me? They was all going for the hard tyres. Yeah. I just got that message. Sorry. Yeah, I just got that message on WhatsApp. Yeah, I just got it. I'll talk to him in a minute. So, meanwhile, Antonelli and Hamilton running in first and second because I don't think they pitted by then. They weren't pitted, they're still there. So, everybody pitted by then, put the hard tires on. Antonelli and Hamilton were running 1 and 2. Basically, that's what happened. So, when they pitted, they come out. I think Antonelli come out 4th. So, towards the end of the race, look, we had the safety car come out. We raced nearly halfway distance. The safety car, Antonelli led from Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Norris, Gasly, Verstappen, Lawson, and Bortello, with everybody having made the pit stop. Was that because of the crash, or the thing come out the crash?
Yeah, lap 22 and
so lap 22 he crashed, didn't it?
Yeah, at Berman.
Yeah, and the safety car came out. So when that ended, Hamilton went on the chase. After the safety car finish, after Hamilton went on to the chase, Piastri, Russell remained close with Leclerc, Norris not far. You know what? I was going to go straight to it now, right? I'm not going to go through my notes for too long. I just can't be bothered today, all right? Yeah. I'm going to go off the cuff, yeah? You know what pissed me off is the fact that, I don't know what it is, right? I really thought that Lewis was going to catch Leclerc, to get that 3rd spot. It was like he was gaining and gaining on him, and he kept falling back and falling back. It's like, I'm not saying this is happening. This is just the way I look at it. Yeah, it was like, you remember when Lewis and Leclerc was having that race, and Lewis beat him fair, and he said, "Oh, China. That was fine." Yeah, you remember China? Yeah, it happened in China. But the Japanese Grand Prix, it's like Ferrari gave Leclerc a bit more juice. You know what I'm saying? Leclerc probably went back to Ferrari and started bitching and moaning like he does sometimes. All drivers bitch and moan. That's just the way it is. We know how Formula One goes. They all bitch and moan. And it seemed like that. And it seemed like he just had more juice in that car than Lewis. I'm not sure if it's just me talking crap, right? But that's what it seemed like to me. It's like Lewis couldn't get close to him.
I think on the other hand as well, which really I don't like about the Ferraris need to start working together instead of battling with each other. I think at the end of the day, they're both teammates. I know it's
not working with no one.
I know it's early in the season and they want to get points and that, but I think the Ferrari needs to start working together if they want to go catch Mercedes and or the McLarens, or get up there in the constructors. I'm not saying don't fight.
Man, allow the constructors. I want you got to win the title, man. He's getting old.
Yeah, but they need to work together to catch the Mercedes.
Yeah, so basically Leclerc can stay behind him, innit? Listen, you listen to me. That's what Lewis should say. You listen to me. I'm an 8-time world champion. You ain't won no championship yet. You listen to me, and that's it. Very simple, really. Lewis, let me tell you some what the engineer said yesterday. Ferrari engineer, this is straight from Ferrari. This is no clickbait. You go and search it, Google it, what you want. Lewis, in the summer break, you know when I had that 4 weeks off, there was testing the car, and for some reason they just couldn't get it where they wanted to. Lewis walks into the garage, tests the car a couple of laps around the track, in Italy, brought the car back in, and he told the engineer what to do to adjust the car. Nobody could figure it out, Nobody could figure it out. And that alone is that I don't like that. I want the engineer to know more than Lewis, you get me? Lewis came in, but Lewis is an 8-time champion, isn't it? Lewis came in, he told him certain things what to do with the car. They adjusted it, put some stuff off, took some stuff off, and then the car was faster. And they said he just comes in, he only has to drive 2 or 3 laps, and he knows already. You know why? Because he's Lewis Hamilton, that's why. You don't win 8 world titles, and not knowing about the car. This is what Lewis was saying at the beginning of the season, at the end of last season. They need to start listening to me more. That's what he said. And now they listen, this is why the car's in a good place. And then I started talking about all these upgrades that are coming, but it is what it is. Let's go back to the review. Anyway, with 35 laps down, Antonelli extended his lead to nearly 5 seconds from Piastri with Hamilton, and third back was Russell. Russell remained within a touching distance of the Ferrari in 4th ahead of Leclerc, while Norris was a more distant 6th. So as the race progressed, they fell back, and obviously it was something to do with the safety car as well. Gasly was continuing to hold back Verstappen in 7th, and Lawson and Ocon rounding out to top 10. So basically, towards the end, there was no such concerns of Antonelli out in front. Cruising, confident. He crossed the line with a more than 13-second advantage. 13-second advantage. That's what happens when you pit at the right time and have a good strategy. Russell kind of messed up his strategy in the safety car as well. So, I still think Russell's better than Antonelli. All right, Antonelli's good. He's a rookie's coming in, but for me, Russell's a better driver in my opinion. Russell. So we've got a 13-second advantage over Piastri, who claimed the second place. I think this was Antonelli's first podium of the season, claiming his second victory in which program. Basically, he broke the record. He was the youngest ever championship leader. So when he won the race in China, he was the youngest ever race winner. And in Japan, he broke another record for the youngest ever championship leader, Antonelli. So there you go. Piastri recorded his first Grand Prix finish of the season in 2nd place, while Leclerc kept Russell at bay and claimed the 3rd place. Russell had to settle for the 4th ahead of Norris and Hamilton in 5th, so it's still good points for Ferrari, and 6th respectively, while Gasly managed to stay ahead of Verstappen. I know Gasly's loving that. Tagged him back. Remember for Red Bull when he got kicked out anyway. And in 7th, though only just with the gap, mere 0.3 of a second at the line. So Lawson added to the Racing Bulls tally in 9th, while Ocon claimed his first points of the campaign in 10th. Hulkenberg followed 11th ahead of the Hajar and Bortello, Lindblad, Sainz, Colapinto, Perez, Alonso, Bottas, and Albon. Stroll and Bierman were 2 retires from the event, and the former having suffered a suspect water pressure issue, while the latter crash put him out of the event. So it was a water issue with the car. So for me, I enjoyed the race. I thought it was an exciting race. I thought this season so far has been a great season. I don't care about all the moaning Max Verstappen fans who are moaning. The reason why they're moaning is because their guy's not winning. Very simple, really. Very simple. And like Martin Brundle says, I'll quote what Martin Brundle says: "If you're gonna leave, Don't talk about it." Very simple. And I agree with Martin Brundle. If you're gonna leave. Don't talk about it, because that's what I keep hearing. That you're gonna leave, you're gonna do this. Just stop talking.
You know, Max is like there's any sort of rumor, you just get pure news. You're gonna leave. Like if you don't, I know it's an easy cliche.
I think he's gonna leave.
I know it's an easy cliche, but if you don't want to be in Formula 1 anymore, just leave. If you don't want to be, just leave. It's like he likes GT racing. He's doing well in GT racing. I got to give it him. He's doing well, right? he should race in GT because he would probably do good there, and he's doing well at the moment. He did win that endurance race, but again, he got stripped off him because the team used an extra set of tires. So his wing got completely stripped. But again, you can see he's doing well there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he moves to GT racing, and good for him.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it as well. So look, at the end of the day, if he wants to leave. I ain't gonna miss him. Just saying, I'm not gonna miss him. So that's it then, Toto. So anything you want to say, Toto, before we head up? Next time, I know we're not going to leave it this long because there ain't going to be a 4-week gap. But how we doing, bro? And how do you like the new backdrop, man, for the season? This is what I've been working on. You like it?
Yeah,
I've been working on it. There you go. There's my finger. I don't know what happened there off my camera. Yeah, I've been working on this backdrop. I got the little Keep It Sports thing at the back, the Neo. For some reason, there's no Neo light on mine on the bottom. I'm going to get that sorted anyway. See the Neo light there on the frame? There's none there.
Yeah.
I ain't going to let that go. But, yeah, so Toto, man. That's it. We're heading off, man. So, in a bit, lads, if we can get the song. No, we ain't going to get the song, are we? Can't spoil it. We're going to play some music, though. There you go.
Oh yeah, solo P1.
There you go. I know what you were going to say. Anyway, guys, see you later. F1 in the bag. It is episode 73 or 74, whatever it is. We will be back on Friday with the Flaming Tarmac. Big up to the people on TikTok. See you later, guys. Big up. Listen to music now.
Keep it sports.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
Oh yeah, solo P1. When the engine them a roar and the ball roll on the floor. Solo and Toto, them a reason every score from the pitch to the tracker so the vibes flow. In the chat, watch the good seed grow. Solo and Toto for the community, you know.